advanced scientific knowledge through collaboration, and promoting research activities, and also include partnering with the industry by organizing regular workshops where captain of industry can put to bear those statistical challenges that they face, and we can provide a number of evidence statisticians that can solve their problem. The vision of the society is to promote and advance scientific research by itself and its application through conferences and workshops, publication of statistical journals, and disseminating the research results to meet the government, industry, and society needs. So far, we have had 5 conferences since 2017 when the society was established. The first one was held in Ibadan in April 2017 with the team Statistical Research and its Applications. The second one was held in Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria, April 2018. The third one was held in Zaria, Manuel University, July 2019. And the fourth was held in Ilorin, and on the 24th to 28th of August 2020. That one, that conference was also going to be virtually physical. But because of COVID-19 and so on, we had to hold the conference virtually. So the 5th one was held in Nsukka, Enugu State, between 4th and 8th of July 2021. Our edited conference proceedings can be found on the platform, and that of 2017, 2018, and 2019. So far we have about 3 volumes of our annals of statistics, annals of statistical theory and application. That is the journal name that we found on the PSSN website. So the part of the journal provides alternative forum to disseminate statistical research findings as widely as possible to other researchers and for the benefit of decision makers, policy makers, industrialists, funders, and other users of statistics. This year, one of our members, Professor Kasim, professor of the University of Professor at the University of Minnesota, America, conference participants award of 100,000. Thank you. So this year, one of our members, Professor Kazim Adepoch, a professor, and in the University of Minnesota, United States of America, gave conference participants award to the tune of 150,000 naira to encourage participants young participants and young academics to attend the conference. The awardees have been selected through the method of random sampling. So some of the awardees are here by the title of their work, and then you stand up for recognition. If you are one of them, stand for recognition. So some of them have indicated that they have some constraints in terms of maybe traveling and all that to attend this conference physically. I think we pardon them for that, except that they will not be able to participate. Take a group photograph with the members on the item. So from the foregoing, my distinguished guests and members of PSSN and participants, you can see that we have come a long way as a statistical society. And for me, as president of this society, I feel it is time to change that. At this conference, we shall elect a new president and other members of council in accordance with the new constitution that is approved at our conference, 5th conference in Enugu in 2021. It is interesting to inform you that the outgoing council has nominated and approved a new editor-in-chief in the person of Professor Fidelis Ugwo, who has agreed, even as a member of the Board of Trustees, to assist the society as editor-in-chief of his journal. Can you stand for it? So thus far, we have been having challenges securing funds for some of our laudable objectives, and particularly because of the economy, COVID-19 issue, and technical support for conferences and workshops has been scarce. Henceforth, we shall be going to be more aggressive in our effort at attracting funds from government agencies that believe in our programs. Let me say that we are extending our request to the businessmen, industrialists, corporate organizations, and individuals to pursue the lofty objectives, particularly the item 7 above, which says to partner with industry by organizing regular workshops where captains of industry can put to bear those statistical challenges they are facing, and we provide consortiums of erudite researchers to solve their problems, among others. Like somebody said, I'm unable to quote his name, says, if the pursuit of learning is not defended by educated citizens, it will never be defended at all. So to this end, I'd like to thank the following benefactors of the society. Novartis Pharma AG for sponsoring the support, for sponsoring this conference to the tune of $3,000. Free pre-conference workshop. I'd like also to thank the rector of this Citadel of Learning, Yaba College of Technology here seated, for providing us with this facility and buses for our logistics during the conference, and for providing accommodation for some of our council members. I also like to thank the co-host of this conference, the Director General, Nigerian Institute for Medical Research, for the space provided for yesterday's pre-conference workshop, the teleconferencing facilities used for the pre-conference, and for providing accommodation for some of our members. Thank you very much. We also thank the Medical Director, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Lagos, for the financial support. Also to the Rector, Federal School of Statistics, Ibadan, Oyo State, for his financial support for this conference. I also thank numerous members of this society, well-wishers for their support, the board of the society, the council members. You are highly recognized and respected for your support and strong belief that we can sustain the society in the last 6 years. You are the reason for our survival. Once again, you are most welcome to this, our 6th International Conference and 3rd Virtual Conference of the Professional Statistician Society of Nigeria. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, the distinguished professor of statistics, who double as the president of this noble society. While he was giving his welcoming address, we have within our midst the distinguished professor, the Director General, Nigeria Institute of Medical Research, our distinguished professor, Babatunde Lawal Salako. Yes, is written on the Institute of Medical Research that co-hosted this conference. And if you were there yesterday, for some of us that were there in person, you will appreciate the level of support, the beautiful, the serene environment, and our nice experience yesterday. For this, we have not taken that for granted. We really appreciate you, sir. On this note, I want to invite our distinguished professor to the head table, Professor Babatunde Lawal Salako, FAS. Another round of applause to our distinguished professor. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's because of this kind of support that we have been able to receive that makes things beautiful, as you are seeing, as you are witnessing. I want to let us know that this activity is being streamed live on YouTube. And for some of us that missed yesterday's episode, you can go to the YouTube and download the live session, video session of all our activities for yesterday. And for this today too, I'll show you that this activity is already being streamed live on YouTube. If for one reason or the other you miss any part of this, you can have access to that permanently. Yeah. So I want to, on this note, invite the rector of this great institution, Yaba College of Technology, Lagos, who is the main host of this conference, to give us the keynote address and declare the conference open. Can we please have a big round of applause for our rector?
Thank you very much. The co-host, Professor Babatunde Lawal, the lead paper presenters and other members on the high table, the president and members of the executive of PSSN, participants all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the management staff and students of Yaba Tech, I am delighted and honored to welcome you all to the college and the 6th Annual International Conference of Professional Statistician Society of Nigeria, with the theme Statistics for Sustainable Development in the post-COVID era. I am particularly delighted to welcome the erudite scholars, Professor Babatunde Lawal, the co-host, and the lead presenters, and the lead paper presenters. You are all welcome. It is a known fact that the COVID-19 pandemic was a major crisis to the world between late 2019 and early 2022, and Nigeria inclusive. The pandemic poses different challenges to several countries in all areas of our lives. We have seen that during the peak period of the pandemic, statistics played and is still playing a crucial role. Statistics have proved to be critical in understanding, in managing and mitigating the human, social, and economic impacts of the COVID-19 outbreak. The importance of statistics in government and private sector cannot be underestimated. It provides the basis for formulation of policies as regards health, population, education, and much more. Therefore, it is my expectation that this year's conference is organized for the general audience to gain insight and information that will remain effective in their profession and to meet the needs of the nation. With the caliber of presenters, I have no doubt that the conference will be educating and rewarding. I therefore enjoy all to relax and participate actively. I wish you all a successful and fruitful deliberations. On this note, I hereby declare the conference open. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, distinguished scholar, director of this great institution, for declaring this conference open. On this note, without wasting much time, I would like to call our co-host, in person of a professor, the distinguished professor, the medical expert, the Director General of Nigeria Institute for Medical Research, to have his keynote speech. Prof, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Director. The last time I was here, I think about 2 weeks or so ago, same hall. The registrar represented you, and he did that well. The presidents of the society, distinguished professor, members, participants. I'm not a statistician, actually. I don't know why I will give a keynote address in an area that I tried to learn, but I couldn't push my way. So I relied on the fact that I can always ask a fellow statistician to help with my work. And that's what I've been doing. But in doing so, I believe I have seen the importance of this profession. And more importantly, in this current era, where we have to use data to inform decisions. It's often said that the oil of tomorrow is actually data. And the people who play around with data are the statisticians. So what it means is that tomorrow belongs to your society. So what I have for you is to welcome people to the conference and to say a few things to showcase what the society should be doing or has been doing and what we expected of it in the future. So it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to the 6th International Conference of Professional Statisticians Society of Nigeria. This conference takes place at a time of major transformative change in Nigeria and in the world. The contribution of statistics in this new and rapidly changing environment has become even greater importance. In this increasingly complex world, the availability of high-quality statistics is vital in facilitating decision-making for both private and public sectors. Recovering from COVID-19 pandemic and its devastating socio-economic consequences must not leave anyone behind. Statisticians and other researchers are expected to start coming up with recommendations through research for sustainable development, which may be adopted by government and implement as the 2030 agenda following the mission and vision of the world leaders. The 6th International Conference of the PSSN should provide a paramount opportunity to show unwavering commitment for the achievement of this agenda, despite the obstacles and challenges posed by the pandemic. The forum can offer a further basis for a multilateral effort to resume and accelerate progress to ultimately realize the vision of the proposed 2030 agenda. COVID-19 has ravaged the Nigerian economy and disrupted the lives of its citizens, despite the efforts put in place by the federal government to stem the rise of the pandemic. This year's theme focuses on statistics for sustainable development in the post-COVID-19 era. And as such, the forum should provide a platform for deliberations that will promote the economic, social, environmental, and health dimensions of sustainable development in order to build an inclusive, effective path for delivery for sustainable development. Africa, whose economic growth rates had regularly exceeded the world average, is in recession for the first time in more than 20 years. This is due to the impact of COVID-19. Nigeria's economy shrank by 1.8% in its deepest decline since 1983. The COVID-19 crisis drove the economic slowdown. The external context was marked by capital outflows, intensified risk aversion, low oil prices, and shrinking foreign remittances. The world is also seeing greater demands for higher levels of transparency. This has become key for building trust and confidence, regardless of the line and nature of business and health problems. The statistics community has responded to these changes. Immense progress has been achieved in developing the methodology for generating consistent economic, financial, and health statistics systems. In a world that has also become more globalized, such progress has brought greater benefits to policymakers in terms of the ability, comparability, and broad consistency of economic and health data across countries. For any economic, financial, and health sector, detailed and comprehensive data are highly important to understand the implications of the developments that are taking place. This has prompted greater international collaborations across the world to contribute towards a greater understanding of the implications of this trend. Underpinning this is also the high level of professionalism and integrity of statisticians at the national and international agencies. I believe the statisticians, the challenge is to continuously improve the statistics science towards facilitating the foundation to build a better future. This society has started to train the future scientists in the area of drug development with statistical theories and methods necessary for this purpose. This is evident with the pre-conference workshop you held yesterday. This is a good way to go, and I strongly believe it is in time to move beyond the cycle. To move beyond the cycle of panic and neglect that has marked global emergency response for decades. There has been a warning against vaccines iniquities and vaccines nationalism, which are further deepening the divide between high and lower income nations. It is also imperative not to leave anyone behind COVID-19 vaccination and to eliminate inequality. Economic recovery must protect people and the planet, and therefore should be a new, more equitable, sustainable model of development. There is need to have a rethink on the development paradigm towards equality, resilience, and environmental sustainability, and to ensure no one is disconnected, as no recovery is guaranteed without global digital connectivity. Reliable data to guide evidence-based decisions is of utmost importance and needs to reduce fragilities of vulnerable countries, such as the least developed countries. As the world further transforms, new challenges emerge, and much more needs to be done going forward. The increase in availability of data and information is not without risk. The wealth of new data will indeed make markets more efficient and has supported better decision-making by the private and public sector. Therefore, existing confidentiality policies, regulation, and data governance needs to be reviewed and updated to account for these new risks so that innovative activities can thrive without threat to individual safety and interest. In conclusion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward, the changing contours of the global landscape will increase sharply. The demand for higher quality and more comprehensive statistics from both the private and public sectors. This also needs to be accompanied by sound analysis in order to draw the implications from the compilers of statistics to developers of statistical applications and the users of statistics. There will be many challenges, also immense opportunities ahead. On this note, I wish you a productive and successful conference. By sharing your ideas, knowledge, and insight in statistics, we will together contribute to drive the statistical science for a better future. I thank you all for listening.
Can we give another round of applause to our distinguished professor? There is so many things of importance. And one thing that arose my attention is the fact that he underscored the fact that the future belongs to you, the statisticians. The future, it doesn't deserve a lot of applause for that. And why that? Why that? It's because of the excellent usage of data, okay? Prof said, yes, it's not a statistician, but I want to tell you, Professor Salako is my namesake, of course, my Komato Day is my namesake. He's an excellent user of a data. There's no way you can be a distinguished scholar in medicine without being able to use data effectively. To that, I give it word of Prof. Another round of applause, please. On this note, I want to again take the baton back to the rector, our distinguished engineer, here seated for his keynote speech. He declared the conference open earlier, and now I want to listen to him for his own keynote address. Welcome, sir. Engineer Obafemi Omokabe.
Thank you very much. I'm equally not a statistician. And when I was called upon to come and give this keynote address, I looked at it and said, what am I going to talk about? Because all I know is about buildings and bridges and roads. I don't know anything about statistics. But I knew that I did statistics in the engineering profession as a course. So I've decided to take it. And of course, I had an escape route, which I'm going to use today. But first, let me stand on the existing protocol to say that I'm delighted to give this keynote address. The co-sponsor, again, Professor Babatunde Lawal Salako, the distinguished president and members of the executive of PSSN, participants, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. The escape route that I've looked at today is to look at statistics and link it up with the COVID-19, post-COVID-19 and of course, sustainable development. That I believe will give me an escape route to be able to participate and see myself as a statistician today, at least for today. So, the next one. Next one. So I've looked at statistical knowledge as a way of introduction will help us in using the proper methods to collect data, to employ the correct analysis, and effectively present the results. So we can say that statistics is a crucial process behind how we make discoveries in science, in engineering, and then make decisions based on data. And of course, we can make predictions based on that. So the importance of statistics can be understood by the phrase that statistics is a crucial part of our life. So nowadays, statistics playing an important role in developing the world. The next slide. Statistics is everywhere, and we cannot hide from statistics. It is so useful in every aspect of our lives. In the modern era, when you talk about planning, which we said planning is everything, and without statistics, we cannot plan. So no wonder that statistics is a required course in almost all academic programs in the tertiary institution. Prof, I'm right, that is in the medical line too. So what is now is to link between COVID-19, the post-COVID era, and of course the sustainable development and statistics. So, what you looked there, you know that the COVID-19 pandemic presents what is undoubtedly one of the greatest challenges ever faced by almost all the nations of the world. We haven't seen this kind of thing before. At least in my era, we have never had lockdown since I was born until COVID-19 came. You understand? So the pandemic had its effect on the world poor, vulnerable, and even the airlines in terms of the direct impact on the public health and the mortality, and also indirect impact on social, economic, and political systems. We all witnessed it. There was no traveling, there was no business, we were all in one place. And then some of us were even thinking whether the world is going to end. And we were no longer even interested in the life. Where you go, you are home, you look at your wardrobe, your clothes are there, your vehicles are there, you cannot move anywhere. And then we now say, what is this life? But of course, we know that the statisticians were at work, taking statistics of everything. So, the pandemic threatens to reverse years of progress on poverty, hunger, healthcare, and education. Amid the COVID-19 crisis in the latter part of 2019, the global community found itself facing unprecedented challenges as the pandemic changed the world as we know. You know, we were talking about new normal. Everything is now new normal. Because the belief is that things will never get back to how it used to be. So the pandemic abruptly disrupted the global economic growth, implementation of sustainable development goals, and in some cases, stormed back years of progress. For some countries now, to be able to get back to where they were pre-COVID will take them some years. So the pandemic touched all segments of population, all sectors of the economy, and all regions of the world. The effect of the pandemic and the measures taken to mitigate its impact overwhelmed the health system globally, kept up to 98% of students out of school, caused businesses and factories to shut down, disrupted global value chains and the supply of products, and is expected to push 71 million people back into extreme poverty and cause almost 132 million people to suffer from undernourishment in 2022, according to WHO report. According to the UNDP in 2020, the world faced the worst economic recession since the Great Depression, with a 4.2% expected decline in the real GDP per capita. The world trade is expected to plunge by 13 to 42% by 2024. During the period of the pandemic, timely and disaggregated data and statistics are proved to be critical in understanding, in managing and mitigating the human, social, and economic impacts of the outbreak. Financial and technical support for data and statistical systems and innovations are urgently needed for designing the short-term responses and accelerated actions to put countries back on track to achieve economic recovery. So, reducing the risk of future disasters and getting closer to achieving the sustainable development will require innovation, finance, and collaboration between government and all stakeholders. But all this will not be possible without data. And who takes care of this data? The statistician. So that gives you the importance of this. So this is where the professional statistician comes in. The pandemic has shown us that getting the data right can guide the responses to crisis at every step, from response to recovery, with life and death implications. Good data on cases and deaths has been an important tool for government to contain and manage the pandemic. Data has also helped to understand the underlying drivers of the disease, who is most at risk, and how we can prevent or be better prepared for the next crisis or disaster. There is no doubt that the investment in data is urgently needed to respond to the crisis and support of the SDG acceleration. So we will implore the government to look a way of improving that profession by voting amount of their budget into data collection, so that, of course, we will then say the importance of statistician in the society is fair, so that government should be able to look inward into that. Because without data, we cannot plan. And anybody that does not plan is also planning to fail. So we will encourage government to come to the aid of this society by granting grants annual grant to this society for the effective use of that. So before the onset of the COVID pandemic, Nigerian economy was transitioning to a low oil price equilibrium with rising vulnerabilities. Recovery from an oil price shock that triggered a 2016 recession was continuing, but at a slow pace. At 2.3% in 2019, the real GDP growth remained firmly below population growth. Inflation had risen to 12% by the end of 2019 and was expected to stay elevated over the medium term. Without statistics, all this information would not have been made available. So kudos to the statisticians. So in conclusion, in order to have a solid planning in the post-pandemic era, government, industries, companies, and individuals must use statistics related to production, to consumption, to birth and death, and also to income, and so on in decision making, so as to have a sustainable growth in all areas of our life. Let us remember that statistics is life and life is statistics. Thank you for listening.
Another beautiful round of applause to the rector of this great institution, the Yaba College of Technology. The last statement, statistics is live, and live is statistics. So take that to bank, okay? I really appreciate it, sir. This is an academic gathering, and of course, Professional Statistician Society of Nigeria is an academic society that values academic protocols. We have within us here another distinguished professor, not because he's a council member, he's not been recognized as being a council member, but he's been recognized as being a distinguished professor of statistics. That is a Professor Akintayo Kayinde Olagbade. Can we give a round of applause? Please come to the end, please. It was an oversight. Sorry for that, Prof. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, on this note, I would like to, because we have 3 lead paper presentations that are to follow the presentation by our keynote address speakers, our host, and our co-host. But as you see them, they are chief executives, they are very busy. And we don't want to keep them sitting down here endlessly. So we want to release our Director General. In fact, has been receiving calls. There's a program going on online that's supposed to join. I just have privileged information to listen to his conversation on phone. He's a busy person. Once again, we appreciate you, sir, for being here with us. Again, our rector, our distinguished engineer, we are really appreciative, sir. So we want to release you. But before they go, we want to have a group photograph with them before they go. Thereafter, we convert back here to have our lead paper presentations in succession. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Please join us now. It's everybody. For next. Don't stop. It's nobody. Stop. Let's follow this.
You don't have company sets. I need the problem. You are telling me better. You are telling me better. You better be not a punish. Also, more slide there.
Thank you very much. Please, let's be seated. This one. Let's come back to the seat, please. Okay. Hello. Hello.